guys? Paulie Malignaggi of Paulie TV. I just want to give my thoughts. There's a bit of controversy with this situation at the Olympics. Obviously, it's become a lightning rod issue. It's become probably more so of a lightning rod issue in the mainstream even than even in boxing. I feel like everybody's got to give their 2 cents here. First and foremost, I think in the way that I'm hearing it, right? First of all, I'm going to tell you what they're trying to say now, and what I actually believe. Okay, so they're for what is being said now. This is there's something called intersex, and this person was just born with high testosterone, but it was a female. I think that's absolute BS. Okay, my personal opinion. If there was such a thing, this would have women's pro athletics have been around for maybe 30 years. Probably 20 years at a high level, women's pro athletics, between WNBA, female pro soccer, female pro boxing, female boxing in general, female pro boxing, even females at the Olympics. This would have been an issue a lot earlier than now in 2024. It just so happens to be that in 2024 this becoming is an issue, and when in fact and only in 2024 would this even be an issue. This would only be an issue in 2024. So this controversy, quote unquote, becomes an issue in 2024. What a coincidence! The only time in history when it would actually be a controversy, because if it would have happened any time prior, it would have been reported on, and it would have been reported on that a guy is trying to pass through into the women's division, But only today would this be a controversy, which is why I'm very, very skeptical of the information here with whatever that is, whatever they're going to call it, intersex or whatever. I will say that, having done some research, this person was kicked out of the this Algerian boxer was kicked out of the World Championships in 2023. The IBA, which is the World Organization for Amateur Boxing, it replaced AIBA, which was very, very corrupt. The IBA is they won't disclose exactly what they failed for. This person and the other fighter that is in the Olympics as well, fighting under the male. And then the female competition, even as an XY chromosome or chromosome-born person, which we used to call men. It was used to be called men, But now I don't know. It might get my page banned if I give too many opinions on this. This is what's wild to me. Regardless, it's a bit unfair. I think women have. I was never the biggest proponent of women's athletics, but I was never against it. It was like, all right, it didn't really make a difference to me, But I do respect the work ethic and the sacrifices people make to reach their goals. And so for that reason, I find it very, very unfair for these women to finally have gotten a certain level. I feel like women's boxing has come a long way, not just in the fact of its popularity, but also in the fact that the women are finally starting to pretty consistently show a pretty high level that even somebody like me would have respected. I saw the women 20 years ago, for example, pro boxing and amateur boxing. They would only win in that with the kind of skills they were performing with. They could only win in female divisions. If the male division with those kind of skill sets would have performed in the male against males, if males would have performed with the skills the females had against males, it would have been beaten easily, So I felt like the level of the female boxers was very low, even when they were winning in the last 20 years. But in the last 10 years, even the last 5 years, a lot of very good female fighters, female fighters that even I'll look at and be like, wow, they got some good snap on their punches, they know how to box, and so on and so forth. So basically, all the advances female sports have done, and particularly boxing, because obviously we're talking boxing here, it's all for naught if this is going to continue, because pretty soon you're going to see entire national teams, entire national tournaments, national champions, Olympic champions, world championships, consisting of people that are born this way, winning them. So the original females will have been totally eliminated because they are impossible to beat the biologically born XY chromosome, aka what they used to call males. I feel bad for Angela Carini. She was a big story in Italy. Even when she qualified, I can remember seeing the interview about how she was doing this for her father, who passed away from her, and he was her biggest supporter, and she was hoping to win a medal for her father. It was a big, big story for her. And it was a big motivator for her, and I know how much she was really trying to, use that as a motivator for her to have success in these Olympics. And so to be able to have to draw this opponent early in the tournament, it's kind of disappointing for her, and I think for her also, for everybody who's supporting her, and really everybody who's in the spirit of competition and fairness, really would find something off about this, And again, the IBA disqualified this person in the World Championships, but the IBA has put out a statement saying they don't have say over the IOC. The IOC is a bit of a higher level, and the IBA cannot step on their toes because the IOC makes their own rules. So the IOC is allowing this kind of thing when the IBA, probably EBA, aka EBA, would not allow this. So I can't see this person not winning a gold medal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're obviously genetically superior from a physical standpoint, and I know that it's funny because from the woke perspective that we've all been getting followed, male and females are no different. But obviously, this comes back to bite you in the face now because obviously there is a big difference, and all the hard work females have done to advance themselves in athletics, especially combat sports. And they were finally starting to, for example, as pros being paid a lot of money. Females as pros in the past were not paid a lot of money unless you were Layla Ali, maybe Christy Martin. If there were some pretty good female fighters and never got paid the money they may have deserved. Pioneers like, I remember like Melissa Salomon and others like her, very good fighters that never got the kind of money they would have deserved for the skill set they had. You're finally seeing that today. Women have finally advanced themselves today to this point, only to run into this brick wall. This will end female athletics, in my opinion. This will, at least female athletics from a biological point of view. They'll still call it female athletics, whatever you want to call it now. At this point, you can call it whatever you want. You can identify as whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. I will say this. Females, even at a high level, will spar males. And the males, and I've done this too, and all males can agree, all male competitors agree this and understand this and know this, we always pull our punches when we spar females. We give them the work, give them the looks, we pull our punches. So females never really have to get hit by males, even with bigger gloves when we're sparring. So the fact that these poor girls now have to get hit by a biologically born XY chromosome, aka what they used to call males, and that person is not pulling their punches, and the punches are 10-ounce gloves now, not 16-ounce gloves like we did in sparring. It's a shell shock for these girls. It's a shell shock to be hit with this kind of power. It's a shell shock because you're not made to be hit with this kind of power. And I really, really, I think it's really disappointing, and it's kind of sad. And obviously, for this movement to have picked up traction to this point, and I know they're trying to throw in all these little deceptions so that they can marginalize the resistance to this by saying, oh, this person was in fact born a female, all this other stuff. Guys, don't believe any of it, please, okay? Support these women. Support what's right, okay? There has to be a boundary put here. I don't even know if my YouTube channel is going to survive this. I'm trying to make it as quiet as not quiet, but as low key as I can make it, without being a sellout, because I need to talk about this. I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't talk about this, And I remember, and if you look at really the boxing media in general, they all want to protect their views. They don't want their pages shadow banned. I do this as a hobby, guys. Paulie TV is a hobby for me. I don't care. You can do whatever you want to it. I personally enjoy it. I get to enjoy getting to talk to everybody. But I'm not going to shut up because now you're going to threaten my page may be threatened. But all these clowns on these YouTube channels give no coverage to any of this. Just like all those clowns gave no coverage to this, to when I got let go by Showtime, and I didn't get to put my 2 cents in because they just covered it the way they covered it, and they couldn't give the other side of the story because they were all worried about getting shadow banned as well. No backbone on any of these people, and you're seeing it again. There's no backbone. There has to be a certain resistance to something like this, or female competition, female boxing will end if there isn't. Again, hopefully they don't ban my page. This is Paulie Malignaggi for Paulie TV. And Angela Carini, everybody's proud of you. And you should hold your head high and be proud of yourself. You did it for your country, Italy, and you did it for female fighters and female athletes all over the world, and everybody has your back and is supporting you.